The following is a world-class Bullshitters exclusive.
So here we are, back to the real world, or Star Wars Celebration, which is pretty real. So this is the very first day of Star Wars Celebration, and here we're going to start at the Hasbro booth. So let's take a step into the Star Wars mission fleet, shall we? What new scaled line is this? I guess this is to entice kids, but the 3 3/4 inch line is too tall? I don't know what to say. I don't see any rays or fins or Poes though, but I'll leave that alone. But I do see Giancarlo Esposito. It's very funny, you see the difference between this celebration and last celebration. The Mandalorian presence is strong, it really did take over for Star Wars. But here we are, we have the Cantina Set, and it looks pretty solid. They're still using that same damn Han Solo, which I never liked. But it's weird to see nostalgia for the Power of the Force 2 line, which is the line I grew up with as a kid, and I kind of want to get these figures based on that, except you, Greedo, you suck. Moving on. But George Lucas gets his own figure, which is pretty cool. And it's weird to see the Clone Wars animated and the Clone Wars style get this scaled figure too. I remember when these were all new. I was in grade school and college, respectively, but good times. Here's my favorite Star Wars toy. So here's another shot of this same thing from the other side, but down here we have Darth Revan, Leia, Obi-Wan, more figures, and some droid love. I thought this was pretty cool that we got to see the droid love, as well as some more 3 3/4 inch love, the scale that Star Wars created. But if you noticed, we're doing original trilogy and we're doing prequel trilogy. There's Obi-Wan, of course you want to promote the new show, I know how marketing works, but I'm not seeing that sequel trilogy. I'm not seeing any feelers for the Rian Johnson trilogy, but I'm seeing a shitload of Mandalorian figures like Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni. Yay, Dave Filoni got a figure. Won't buy it. Don't want to look at it. Dude, move on. I filmed this myself. But the Jon Favreau figure, that's what's up. Yeah, probably not going to buy it. But nice display of Mandalorian figures. You notice the change to, we're back to a lot of armored characters. I guess that's what sells. But this is all Disney Star Wars. It's a hodgepodge of original trilogy and their own creations. That's how it works. That's how it actually has to work. Because when they try to create their own stuff, it isn't too successful. You have to understand how much these things cost to make before you can say how successful they are. See the new trilogy. I believe The Force Awakens is listed at $306 million is the budget. Google that. I'm not crazy. But that's okay because 1 week of Baby Yoda merchandise made that all back. So for the collector who said the playset was never coming back, we were all wrong, and I was one of those people. Here we are, Book of Boba Fett, aka Jabba's Palace. This is way too pricey, but if I were to get this, I would slap a Jabba the Hutt on there and reenact Return of the Jedi. Not Disney stars, but you're feeding the... whatever. You're feeding the Rancor, no matter what. It's weird that Rogue One got 2 toy lines, but other Disney Star Wars films didn't. So, if you've been following this channel for a long time, you've noticed that we have been making Star Wars toy videos for a minute, and you've seen Jyn Erso and Cassian Andor before, and they were sold for 3 cents a piece. Ah, Lando, the real first person of color in Star Wars. Well, wasn't like there were any before. This new lady, right? Yeah, we'll be seeing her soon. There we go, a first order figure, and there it went. You know, as a collector, I wish the card back quality was better. And what I mean, folks, is the cardboard that these figures are sold on, they're shitty. They kind of just bend and dent in your hands. But again, more original trilogy. It's a pretty nice looking Stormtrooper, if I do say so myself. Friggin' Dan on the modal nodes. And then, this is weird to me. This isn't new. These are the retro figures, which are trying to be like the vintage ones. I don't really love them. I do like this weird psychedelic Chewbacca, though. I'm all about the art of these cards, but just seems like a cheap cash grab. More vintage style figures. Well, we'll call this a cheap cash grab. These are from The Mandalorian, seasons 1 and 2. And then we have these premium figures. They have found a way to charge you double price for a 3 3/4 inch toy by putting a penny's worth of plastic in there. And I don't know if people are biting. We'll have to look at the reports. The brands have been going up for a while, but Marvel attributes to that too. Again, this is a nice playset. It's really hard to really ding them for quality because they really picked up the quality of the 3 3/4 inch scale across the board. Sometimes it's enticing. I want to get some of these things, but it's Disney Star Wars, so I have a certain feeling towards it. And even the stuff that they didn't create, like Lobot. I kind of like Lobot, but But let's take a look at Lobot, shall we? It was pretty cool. You need Lando and those Bespin guards. And what about a Cloud City playset? More Leia. What is this, from the comic books? So that's a decent idea. That's something I wish they would have done when I was a kid. Comic book style suits for the characters, because they can only play with Han Solo and his vest so often. It's nice to have some variety. More troopers, more armors, more people of color. Bo-Katan, Sasha Banks. I forgot she's in this Star Wars shit. The Bill Burr figure. Again, more of the playset. Looks nice. You could, it all looks enough like the original Star Wars, and that's the plan. So let's take one more pass. We have another Mandalorian helmet. That's the future of Star Wars, folks. Stay tuned at the end and we'll talk about what I mean. Speaking of helmets, Darth Vader. This is pretty cool looking. I don't know how it compares to a higher end replica, but that's really what Star Wars is becoming soon, is cosplay. That's really the trend right now, is cosplay. But ooh, Obi-Wan. I wish your show was better. And there's Riva the Inquisitor. Those are my thoughts on her. And there's her new scaled figure as well. When I shot this footage, I hadn't seen the show yet, and I was convinced that they were going to make her a bigger star. She was one of the characters they made a figure of, so that's how they treat these things. More troopers, more video games. Again, a way to open up the original Star Wars. That's the secret to all of this, how to make more money from George Lucas's version of Star Wars. Pretty sure the Clone Wars featured that character, and that's George Lucas's Star Wars as well. There's more of Darth Vader's helmet. That seems a little more accurate than the one in the show. Darth Vader's helmet was only 2 pieces instead of the 3, which, oh well, I guess I won't complain. More Riva, more Obi-Wan. It's like my phone didn't want to zoom in or focus on Obi-Wan. We have a vintage Riva. All joking aside, how many of these do you think are going to sit at retail? And then how many do you think are going to be blamed on racist fans? It's Star Wars. It's interesting right now. Hear the excitement in my voice? But here's what I mean about the future of Star Wars is truly the cosplay. The great Star Wars reset that everyone has talked about, the reboot, the relaunch, the remaking of the trilogy, it's not happening because it already did happen. This is the Disney Star Wars reset. This is it. Mandalorians, faceless characters in armor, new ones that are in the original timeline. That is how Disney figured out how to make money from Star Wars. Is that me saying I like it? Hell no. Don't ever confuse my assessment of the situation with my acceptance of the situation. Just because I talk about it and report on it doesn't mean I'm very excited by it. For me, Star Wars, the best year to be a Star Wars fan, I guess the last great year to be a Star Wars fan was 2008. Why? There was the awesome Millennium Falcon, I believe it was called the Legacy Collection, that was out that year. There was a big relaunch of Star Wars toys. The economy could necessitate a $125 Millennium Falcon. There were play sets. There were all kinds of ships. You could walk into a store. If you liked the originals, if you liked the prequels, it was all there. That was the perfect blend and balance of Star Wars. Then Disney brought in their new characters. Go watch our videos. It didn't work. I've never seen Star Wars at clearance before in my lifetime. Oh, Jeff, in 1985, Star Wars went away. Great, that was 1985. In 1995, Star Wars came back, and never once has there been a gap in Star Wars. It's always been there, and it never really went to retail clearance. Why? Because I grew up in a household where we did go to clearance stores to see what was up, and Star Wars was never there. Luckily, I had a mom that prioritized my stuff very highly, so I didn't have to get my Star Wars stuff from anywhere but Toys R Us, Target, Walmart, or any of your other reputable brands in the 90s where you could shop. But so is the case with Star Wars, though. They tried it, they ruined it, and now they found a new way to make it acceptable. What do I mean? Well, you notice that they're really not trying to push those characters from that trilogy anymore. Rightly so. They didn't even get toys when they came out. But what they've done is, instead of trying to stagger the release, over at Marvel, excuse this jump, but over in the Marvel line, which is still held by Hasbro, they're still releasing in Avengers Infinity Saga action figures. What I mean is, it's not uncommon to go to the store coming up and find Iron Man from 2008 or Thor from 2011. Old characters, old toys, old things. The market, the characters are that popular and people want to buy them. With Star Wars, that's not really the case. So what they've done is they've created a new version where they have their Mandalorian show and all the offshoots, because the Mandalorian works because he looks like Boba Fett. And so all these other Mandalorians look enough like Boba Fett. It really is like just palette swapped Boba Fett. I know I'm pissing some people off. The armor's different. This, it means that. Look, that's the point I'm trying to make. They have found a way to make Star Wars mean something to people's identity. This Mandalorian style, the faceless character, the armor, you put yourself into it. That's the future of how Star Wars merchandise will work. Look, it's screen accurate cosplay, lightsabers, blasters, suits of armor, helmets, things before that you could only dream about getting, or go online and have them crafted by, people. Sometimes you spend $2,000 on a Darth Vader mask. You might think it looks great. You get it in person, it looks great, but then you realize, it's not as great as I thought it was. They've kind of homogenized that market, and they've figured out how to make it make them money. And that's it. That's what Star Wars is. It's this weird blend of original trilogy era stuff with a few characters sprinkled in wearing recognizable armor. Like, look at Bill Burr. He wears a suit of armor and the Imperial garb that looks a lot like the original trilogy stuff. It's all part of the psychological plan. It makes people comfortable. Oh, stormtroopers are here. Oh, it's Tatooine. Oh, it's this. Oh, it's that. They think, they feel Star Wars. That's what they're trying to do right now. And this is the new era, the new age, the new wave of Star Wars. Do you like it? I don't really. It's broken. It's different. I don't know how to describe Star Wars anymore, but it keeps on. It's like the end of Back to the Future 3. Star Wars is that big train. Doc and Marty, aka the fans, we've left that train. That thing has gone over whatever the temperature is in the boiler, and it has exploded, and it has fallen off the cliff. And we're just watching the train go. So, folks, before you go, make sure you're subscribed to this channel with your bell notifications turned on to all, and do us a favor. Check out our other content. We have tons of Star Wars toy content. We have tons of Star Wars content. Geek culture. We're more than just Star Wars. Captain Marvel was our biggest video ever, but we had tons of Marvel, Star Wars, DC, comics, horror, all that stuff. So WCBS's archives are full of awesome content. And this week I can go back and listen to some of that. Also, be on the lookout. I finally did the thing a lot of you asked in terms of collectible videos. I got a Lego one coming up. So come back tomorrow for the Lego video. And after that, I'll even have one on Sideshow. So be prepared for some of these fun videos coming at you in the next couple of days. But until then, folks, be smart, be safe, be cool. But always go to WokeBustersComic.com right now and get yourselves a copy before they're gone. But in the meantime, be excellent to each other.